Everybody in the galaxy. Welcome back to planet Earth. It's Tape Tuesday. Ooh. And the energy is feeling very nice indeed. How we all doing? I'm doing great. We had a lot of fun yesterday on Monosynth Monday. Ooh, that was a lot of excitement, I think. Let's try to pick it up again. I'm gonna play you a song. This one's Loops for Lifetimes. It's by Archaic. It's on my album Funko Wunko. Check it out. Oh yeah. Speaking of loops, let's make a tape loop. You know how it goes. Sacrificial tape for the week. All right. Let's get right to it. Caught us last week on Tape Tuesday. I showed you my new technique with the splicing block. You can always watch back on previous episodes. I'm racing against time. Not sure why. I've heard that time doesn't even exist. Crack open this cassette tape. Oh yeah. That was Loops for Lifetimes by Electric Archaic. We're just getting our weekly sacrificial tape made up into a cassette tape loop. How we doing out there? Give us some love in the chat room. All right, so last week I explained my fresh cassette tape loop making technique in great detail. But this week, I'm going to see how fast I can make it happen. What you're hearing in the background right now is Electrified Rain by yours truly, of course. Got my Type 2 cassette tape dispenser. You want to use a high quality tape if you can. And yes, we can. Let's do it. I'm going to turn on the overhead light here. Please keep your seatbelts fastened and your arms inside of the ride. Boom. Pulling out some cassette tape here. We got Gonzin in the chat. Welcome back, Gonzin. He's saying, we're cooking it up. Gonna cook up a fresh cassette tape loop. My friend. Where is everybody today? It must be summer. People are outside getting their vitamin D the natural way, I guess. All right. Like I said, I'm not going to explain this process. You can catch that on episode 13, but it's fairly self-explanatory. All right. Let's see what kind of strange sounds we can come up with today. We had some requests yesterday on my Monosynth Monday show. We had Hen requesting some kind of a pod race sound from Star Wars. You know the one that's... I got the TB303. I have been known to make some strange engine sounds with that by running up the tempo really high. And I got something a little different here today. Something I have not worked with on this show or any of my shows. I gotta make noise. O-Coast. I think we'll plug the TB303 into the O-Coast and see what kind of strange sci-fi engine sounds we can conjure up. That should be fun. And you know I got the Tascam 414 ready to go. I'll play you one of the tape loops from last week. It's faded in here. We got Dolphin in the chat saying rain sounds in the metal cave. Yeah. We got Gonzin in the chat asking if I go out with a recorder and record, if I capture stuff. I do. That's where this electrified rain in the background came from. But I did put a bunch of, I guess, jar lids, bottle toppers, things like that. The rain was dripping off the roof there, and so I put a bunch of metal lids and things like that to catch those raindrops. So it was like I created my own organic drum machine of sorts. Pretty ambient, pretty random. Anyways, let's get this tape loop underway. All right. I really like my new tape loop making technique. It's been working out good for me. All right. The trick is to just make sure that your tape loop is not too short in length. There's a couple other tricks too, but those of you who have watched my previous episodes, you'll know we've had to figure out the hard way a few times. So it's kind of nice to have a nice refined technique here. Now I'm going to make the cut. I'm cutting both sides at the same time here. Safety first, kids. You know the drill. All right. There it is. There's the cut. Okay. Now you saw I have a bit of tape leader there that helps me grab this extra piece out. Can't have that extra piece in there. All right. We got Kenneth in the chat. Welcome back, Kenneth. How you doing? It's always good to see my chat family on a Tape Tuesday. That's funny, Gonzin. Gonzin saying, high vis and hard hat? Yes, especially those raindrops. They come down. Gotta watch out for the rain. Oh yeah. Kind of a mellow day today, I think. We really went for it yesterday on Monosynth Monday's show. Oh boy. Let's see if we can work up some energy here. Maybe we do need to make some sci-fi engine sounds. Get the vibe moving a little bit. Yeah. Okay, let me get back to this. Making a tape loop up. So I've made my cut here, and I just got to get some splicing tape now. I think it was you, Gonzin, that said I got to make the tape loop on the show. It's part of the ritual. I think I agree. I was just having so much trouble there a couple weeks back that I didn't want to do it. So thanks for inspiring me, everyone. It was Liminal in the chat about a month ago that said, get yourself a splicing block. It'll help with that splice sound. And it was Gonzin that said, you got to do the ritual. So you two guys, and some hard work a couple weeks ago, have made it possible. Call your station. Let them know what you want to see. I always think about that. That's something Bob Ross would say a lot. All right, there's our happy tape loop. And now, just got to pop it in there. Now, if you're watching, I have shown you all of the important parts of the technique. I just haven't talked about it very much. I got to switch it up every now and then. Although this is the last and most crucial part of the technique here. Oh, I'll talk about it. You gotta. It helps to get the splice out of the way and just put some tension on the tape here. Yeah, put a little tension on it. This used to be the really fiddly part. You know, there's something strange with this, with the felt there. It's like it's pushing down extra. Can you see that? Look at that guy. Oh man. Anyways, yeah, that's interesting. It's kind of different. Viva la resistance, I suppose. Look at that. Ooh. Let's hope that sounds good. What do you think about that, Gonzin? That was a quick tape loop. I started really early. And yeah, I've been leaving these slip mats in. I don't think they hurt, but sometimes I think they help with the squeakiness, and not the dolphin kind. I see you out there, dolphin. It's nice when they kind of have some suction and they stay on the lid there. This is a bit of a... I'm getting down to it here. I had a whole bunch of really nice cassettes that I picked up from the thrift shop, but I've turned them all into tape loops. So now I got these ones here that have a bit of 1980s glue remnants. Kind of like a whole family of ugly duckling tapes. That's what we got. All right. That'll be it. That's the tape loop. That's one of them anyway. I have another. Maybe since I'm so fast, we can make two. We got Hen in the chat. Hey man, that's all good. If you gotta run, get to it. Let's test it out. Let's get over to the task cam here. Now, I usually say, let's listen for the splice, but these days, with the new technique, I don't really know if we want to hear a splice. Look at that, a fresh tape loop. I love it. I love it. I do have, I don't know how many are in there. It's probably about 30 or so. 30 or so cassettes from this cassette tape family here. So I have some to go, but I got to get back to the thrift shop and find some more of these. It's the best way to get them. You because they're nice and cheap. That's how I recommend getting them. You can always buy some new old stock on eBay or whatever, but let's listen for that splice. I'm looking for it too. Because, you know, if you can't see the tape splice moving in there, then it's stuck, and you gotta go backwards. I can't hear a splice, so that might be a good sign. Unless, of course, it's not moving, but I think it is moving in there. There it is. I saw the splice. Ooh, that's going to be a nice clean tape today, I think. Yeah, I can kind of hear a splice. There's a lot of noise in the background, though, with the electrified rain soundscape. It's nice to have a soundscape. What are you guys saying in the chat? Oh, we got Kenneth in the chat with the quote of the day. Let's see. Music is probably one real magic I have encountered in my life. There's not some trick involved with it. It's pure and it's real. I agree with you, Kenneth. Thank you for that quote of the day. Always got to have a quote of the day. Wait, who's streaming? Who else is streaming? Who's taking all my chat family away from me? I mean, I guess you guys were all there for Monosynth Monday. Be free, little chat ones. Sure appreciate you guys, though. All right. So, let me clean up the workstation. Looks like we have a fully functional cassette tape loop. I'm going to pop out the O Coast here and make some freaky pod racing sounds for Hen. That was Hen's request. I think we're going to try it out. Oh, yeah. I was going to plug the 303 into this bad boy. That's a lot of analog freakiness there. Can never have enough of that. No worries, you guys. No worries. We're going to make some freaking cool sounds. And of course, you can always watch back later. All right. So, I got the little cassette jobbers, little scraps. Don't want to lose those in one of my machines. You know what I mean? Okay. I'll come back over here. Let's get this all set up here. I got the TB303. I want to wire that up to the O Coast. That should be really interesting, I think. Do a bit of a zoom out. Let's make some space. I need space. All right. Yeah. I guess I got to get some new soundscapes going here. Well, Ease, episode 2, is just right around the corner. And I know I keep saying that, but I think I'm going to schedule that show this week. Let's see. What's a good day for that? If I work really hard, I could do that tomorrow. And then, what was happening Thursday? I feel like something was happening Thursday. I can't remember, though. Too many things going on in this world. All right. So, let's plug this in. I got the power cord. Let's do a little bit of a synthesizer sound meditation. Let's get the engines going. All right, I'll keep all this tape loop stuff around for when you guys get back. We'll make another tape loop. We'll do a double feature. How many live streams does it take to get to the center of a YouTube algorithm? All right, so I need some patch cables here. I need I guess a sound cable for this. It's got one of the mini jacks. I have one of those. Let's see. Let's plug in the mini jack. Oh, I haven't touched this for a while. I got a lot of synthesizers and things. I like to bring out the small ones, the small boys, so that we can see them on the channel. We want to be able to see. Now here's a headphone jack, and I think let's just plug into the headphone jack, although that is a mono cable. I'll make a little bit more space for the 303. You think that's going to fit? I hope it will. Okay. So I got the O-Coast. Let's plug it into the Tascam. Ooh, that's kind of freaky. I like that. I'll just set that. Let's set it to record so we can hear it. Have a feeling it might take a little bit of time to get this wired up here. I know you can make it self-oscillate or something like that, but I just want to get the 303 to make this thing scream. Where's that 303? There it is. And maybe we'll use the 303 as a sound source as well. But it's got these mini jack CV and gate outputs. Ooh, what a beauty. Yeah, usually the 303's on the freaky camera, but get a load of that. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. It's my favorite machine. So it's always welcome in some kind of a freaky jam session. Let's make a little bit more room. I feel kind of silly. It's kind of a very chill day here. We got Dolphin in the chat saying, "Bring in the freaks." Here we go. And it's not a micro freak, although it is kind of tiny. And for those of you who don't know, the micro freak is a synthesizer by Archaic. I don't have one. Maybe I should, since I say freak so much. I can't remember. I think it's analog. It should be analog. It's from that 2020 analog synthesizer craze that we all went through. Okay. So, how do we feel about that? Let's see. Let me have a good look at that. Ooh, that's pretty nice. Center everything up. Make it nice and pretty for the newcomers, the newbies. Where are my newbies at? Get up in the chat. Give us some love. Maybe that's the trick today. Just take my time. All right, I'm not made up of infinite time, though. Okay, I got some patch cables here. We'll patch you in. Got some short ones, and I got some long ones. Long boy cables. Where's Long Boy at? All right, I'm going to turn on the 303 here. Let's get it fired up. Let's get it going. Let's keep it rolling. It's funny, I go straight for the filter knob. That's actually very funny. This is going to be the knob we're mainly going to use today and probably make up some freaky patterns, I think. It's a little bit different. So the gate, that's going to be our real tempo master. And it's not really fitting so good, so I might have to pull out something a little bit different here. Just bear with me, I think. Oh, now I went and did it. Whew, that's scary. So I have this strange thing on my streaming mixer. There's a very strange thing. And I'm not talking about the freaky. But when I put on the title graphic, if I put on that title graphic on top of a video source, sometimes it just glitches out the whole mixer. It looks like I was able to save that. A little bit scary. I've had that happen before, and looks like we're all good. Kind of a different vibe today. What are the planets doing? Hey, we got Richard in the chat. How you doing, Richard? So many machines. Oh, man. We got Richard in the chat saying, just the look of that machine with all those square buttons and dials makes me happy. You talking about the O Coast, my friend? Right here? Or are you talking about this one? This is the Happy Face, the quintessential Happy Face machine. Yeah, we got Richard in the chat saying, sounds like an eerie waterfall in a cave. Yeah, I didn't do it in a cave. I did it kind of right out in front of the garage. I had a bunch of metal lids and things, and the raindrops. There was a break in the rain, so it was just kind of dripping off the roof, and I strategically placed a bunch of lids and bottle caps, things like that, jars to collect the water. And the drips were just, it was a cool, beautiful, random drum machine or synth. And that's how I made Electrified Rain. And I just did that all night. And you can also hear those drones in the background. They are, I guess that's the sound of vehicles in the distance from the future, right? It's a very futuristic feel. It's going for a kind of a cyberpunk, utopian, cyberpunk feeling. Let's get those buttons and dials back on the screen for my friend Richard. Okay, so I got distracted, as sometimes happens. Oftentimes. I want to lift this up. I got this thing that I made for my 303 and my 606 so that the wires can have freedom back there. It's kind of cool. I was able to find almost an exact, it's not an exact match, but it does have a kind of that silvery green feeling that the 303 and the 606 have. So it does go nice. This is definitely a new combination here. It's not a secret combination, but it is new. That'll be nice. You see, that's what makes it so nice. Okay, now I can plug in some of these cables into the 303. Maybe I can try to remember which ones they are. I see a lot of these modular patch cables out there that are bright colors, and I do have a couple of bright colored ones, but for the most part, I like the way the black ones and the gray ones look. These are slightly different, so what I'll do is I'll give the CV one the more complicated looking cable. I'm giving away all my trade secrets. CV, yeah, because the CV is more complicated, I guess. That was the logic behind that. Now, if I can just feed... Well, let's see here. Ah, man, I do need space. All right, so if I can snake this in, that's one of the things I absolutely love about the TB303 and the 606 is that they take batteries. So they're kind of like a wireless synthesizer until you plug it into something. There's a really cool picture of one of the guys in Daft Punk from the 90s, and he had some of those bright yellow Sony headphones plugged into a 303. He was just sitting on the ground. I always liked that picture. It's just like sitting there. I suppose you could take a 303 on an airplane and program it to your heart's desire. All right, that's got a lot of machines here, Richard. So many machines. Let's make it nice and pretty for the newcomers, the newbies. Where are my newbies? Get up in the chat. Give us some love. I see you watching. They're all watching. Okay, that's probably gonna have to do it. Yeah, that's good. That's very good. As for, okay, well, this is a bit of a modular experiment. I suppose. It's not exactly modular, but kind of. So with the CV, that's the gate. And I think the gate plugs straight into the gate. Right? Or does it go into there? I can't remember. But if we press play on the 303, I got to turn down these volumes here. Well, it's doing something when I press play. There is a trig input here on the yoke host. Now for CV, I put that straight into volt per octave, just like the good old days. And I can't hear anything. It's probably because I have the volume down. Okay, so nothing's happening at the moment. I think the 303, it is playing. I must have it plugged into the wrong thing. Let's plug it into this trig here. But that's actually triggering the slope. This is called the slope. Man, I just don't remember how this goes. Maybe it's over here. Tempo. We got tempo. Give me a trigger. Click. That's not doing it. Gate. Did anyone know how to run an O coast? It's been too long. I had this thing mastered. Master Tiger. Where's Master at? Okay. I'm pretty sure it just goes right here into the gate. If I'm correct. Ah, man, I haven't done either of these things in quite a long time. So, maybe there's no data on this. Lieutenant Commander data. So let's write in some data here on the 303. I'll just give it a straight away. Now that looks like it's doing something. Maybe it's the headphone output that's not being friendly with us. There's this dynamic. That might be the one that we're looking for here. So we can definitely hear something. I'm going to turn the level down a little bit on the Tascam. The freaky Tascam. Don't want to hurt anybody's ears. Whoa. All right. If I remember correctly, I am not remembering correctly. I wonder if I messed around with the MIDI here or something. Oh gosh. It should be making some kind of a sound, I think. Man, that's what I get for bringing in a new synthesizer I haven't played with for a long time. So this gate, let's see. Fine tune, trigger. We got sound. Oh, maybe I got to turn these up. I'm seeing something happen. See that? That's the gate for sure, because when I... Oh, no, that's doing its own thing. Wow. Now that's doing something. And that says gate. So MIDI. MIDI. Oh, boy. Well, let's see here. We got Kiera in the chat, of course. How you doing, Kiera? I'm just trying to see if I can remember how to work this O coast. It's not really working. Try this headphone. I don't know what's happening. I remember when I first bought this machine, that was the case. Line out. Line out. Volt per octave. My goodness. Maybe we'll just have to run the 303 by itself. I was joking. That's what I get for bringing out a synthesizer I have not messed around with for a couple of years. I think it's been a few years here. Oh, I hear it. Thanks for keeping the faith, everybody. Now that's pretty cool, I think. For those of you who are just joining us, we got the 303 controlling the O coast, and it's going into my Tascam cassette tape machine. We got a nice healthy level. I don't know, maybe we should fire right in and record something like that. I think I'll just make sure not to mess around with the tempo on the 303, so we can decide what kind of a BPM we want. I'm not sure exactly. I'm never sure how to sync up the cassette tape with BPMs. It seems like it helps to have a bit of a drone first. So I don't know. You know me and the drones. If you take the tempo way down on the 303, it's still going for it. Okay, let's change up this 303 pattern just a little bit. I kind of want to have one that's just a note that goes on and on and on. Oh, and that's pitch mode, so that's not doing anything. Let's go into timing mode here. Actually, forget that. I need to set this. I need to reset it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay. And then we'll do one hit here, and then we'll tie it all in together. Now I wonder, I know the 303, if you What am I trying to say here? I want it to just be a constant sound, a gate. But with the 303, it re-triggers every time, and gosh, So I think, I'm not sure if you can just do this, if you can make a whole pattern with just ties, and if it will stay on. Sounds like that might be the case, because then it'll tie into itself. There we go. Oh, I was wrong about that. I guess I could up the decay. That is keeping it going. Yeah, so it's receiving a gate before its gate runs out of decay. So that'll work for us, I think. Yeah, it's a freaky little synth here. Okay, so we got the 303 doing its job, making some magic. We got Dolphin in the chat saying, there it is, the freaks have arrived. I guess our usual suspect freakiness freaks today are Kiera, Dolphin, Richard, and Kenneth. We got Kenneth in the chat saying, the compact cassette, also known as the cassette tape, was invented by Philips in 1962, with the first prototype created that year. We often associate the compact cassette tape with the 80s, but it was invented in the 60s. I think it took a while to catch on. I don't know what were people using it for in the 70s, maybe on hi-fi systems? I'm gonna think about that. Maybe it was in development for quite a while, I think. I know that it was Sony. What was it? The CEO of Sony told his development team to just make him a very compact, a compact player. I mean, I wanted to say compact cassette player. It's a little confusing. So that he could listen to, was it opera? He could listen to opera while flying on a plane. And that was the first Walkman prototype. So shout out to Philips and Sony. And of course, Tascam. Oh man, I like the Tascam quite a lot. It's my second favorite machine. I'll have to admit it. That's why I have two shows. I got Monosynth Monday, and I got Tape Tuesday, showcasing my favorite machines. And hey, you guys are lucky, because today is one of those days where we got both of my favorite machines in the studio. That's the TB303 and the Tascam 414. All right. So I was gonna make a bit of a drone here for our first Tascam track. And we got that working, but it sounds a bit boring, I think. So maybe we pull out some more patch cables and patch up a little bit of something on this O coast here. Now that I apparently remember what it is I'm doing. Now with the 303, we have no pitch data in there. Maybe that's something that we can add to the mix here. I think maybe I'll... That's cool. Call that's like some kind of a ringtone thing. Although I'm not sure why it didn't continue. Wait, I thought I just programmed that in. Let's go back into... Getting a nice kind of 80s sound. But why didn't that? Oh, it's because the pattern is all ties. Maybe I gotta do this thing here where I put in steps, and then on every single one we let it slide. It's going very freaky indeed. Reminds me of like one of those freaky... I know Freaky Teddy might get jealous if I talk about this thing, but there was something in the 80s called the Teddy Ruxpin, and it was like almost like a robotic Freaky Teddy, but it was just a talking Freaky Teddy, the Teddy Ruxpin. Anyways, kind of a great pattern right there. It's not our drone though. I don't know what I'm thinking here. I was gonna... Now the weird thing about the CV output on the 303 is it does not reflect the tuning knob at all. So if you want to make it go a little bit lower, you're gonna have to add the low octaves to every single one. And that will send out a control voltage with a lower pitch. It's 1 volt per octave here, so we're effectively dropping it down. Now, we are starting to sound like what Hen requested. Hen yesterday requested a bit of a pod racer, Star Wars pod racer sound with the weird engines and stuff like that. You turned engine to engine. And that is sounding kind of like an engine, but I wonder... I'm trying to figure out how that's going to work on a tape loop. Let's automate a little bit more here. I think this has a mult. Where's the mult at? Right there. Maybe we can mult the gate. And take one of those outputs and put it right back into the gate. Although it's doing a bit of that. I'm not sure if that's... Where's the mult? There's an attenuverter. That's what this thing is. The attenuverter. It seems like it's just kind of doing its own thing there. I thought that was just going to mult it straight away and not run through the attenuverter. Well, let's just pop it back into the gate. Let's be safe with it. Don't want it to be too freaky too soon, do we? Ooh. It is sounding like a pod racer. I wish it was going a little bit faster, though. We're doing this for Hen. Where is Hen? Hen had another live stream to go check out. Right on. Oh, we got some pod racing sounds. From Star Wars when they go through the... That's kind of what we were going for today. But maybe we can put some freaky beats on here later if we can get it all synced up. I think I'll record something here. Maybe I'll slow it down a bit. We'll see how this turns out. So one of the reasons why I pulled out the 303 today is because I feel like the tempo can go super, super fast, but now I'm wondering, because I could have done a similar thing, minus the pitch data, with the Roland Boutique, or I suppose Well, that makes me wonder, actually, if we can pull out a Volca and use the timing, the clock signal to run that gate. That might get it to go a lot faster, because I think the clock has maybe a quicker interval than just the gate. So I'm using a gate which will only go as fast as the 16 steps that the 303 is putting out here. But I do like what we've come up with. I think we should record that. All right, let's get a healthy level on the Tascam. We'll fire right in. I'm gonna speed up the tape. Maybe I'll turn it into Tascam mode. For those of you who don't know, I got a modification in my Tascam. Allows it to run very slow indeed. So let's see here. There's the splice. There's the splice. So that's kind of reminds me of that one Pink Floyd song. With the O Coast version. Get a little bit of crunch. We're gonna have plenty of crunch on the tape. So I'm gonna saturate it with sound. Trying to find the right idea here. Okay. I think I want to have a little bit of that. Kind of sounds like a filter, but it's... want it to sound like a futuristic machine from the utopian future. Yeah, we're going for that. That sounds pretty utopian to me. It's pumping out smiles. Welcome to the Smile Factory. Doing strange things with a 303. Okay, now that level is about as healthy as it can look. I got all the LEDs lit up there. Woo! Can you see it? Oh, I gotta give you a little bit of freakiness, don't I? Come on, baby. Let's have some freaky. This video mixer it's partially on the fritz. It does its own thing. Okay, that'll do. Now I'm gonna record this, I think. Well, I'll record it when I see the splice. That's gonna be the thing. When I see the splice, I'm gonna hit record, and then when I see it again, I'm gonna unrecord it. Unrecord. We're not gonna delete it. It's gonna be on there. Now I just gotta verify something here, that we got our little electromagnet cover going on. We got Richard Crook in the chat saying, cassette tape was originally meant for recording speech. They didn't anticipate people pirating music with it. Yeah, it's funny. There was a whole time there where basically the companies selling cassette tapes were just encouraging music pirating. I guess someone had to buy the music so that someone else could pirate it. And then back, it was a thing about a copy of a copy of a copy. With digital, you can kind of do that. You can absolutely do that. But with analog, you can't do that. So you'd want to get it as close to the source as you could. And I think that was how they sold cassette tapes. But people made the mixtapes, and you couldn't really go into a record store and buy a mixtape. They had some of those, but the old now version 5. I remember those on CD. A little bit too young to have bought a bunch of cassettes from the record store. That's why I got to get into it now. That's how nostalgia works, right? You yearn for a time that you missed out on, or something. Okay, what did I do? I got the cassette loop. I just was checking on that electromagnet there. I got a piece of Scotch tape covering that up so that there's no gap in the recording. Let's fire in. Let's make some crunch. We got our weird engine droning here in the background. Let's make it happen. So, like I said before, I'm gonna watch for the splice. It's moving around there pretty quick. There it is. And I'm gonna hit record. I feel like maybe I should fade it in and then fade it out so that it doesn't have, so it's kind of nice. I don't know. Let's see. Let's try it out. Here we go. Getting ready here. Let's make it happen. Okay, so there's the splice. Let's fade it in. Let's do that trick. Boom. Oh, we always miss this step, I'm telling you. Got to put a little bit of tape on here so that you can pirate the music. Wow, we're not pirating anything, actually. We've made this. This is original. Okay. Yeah, I got to tape up this little recording tab here. And those of you who know, you certainly do know. Great. And there's this thing, there's this little lever in here, and I guess it connects a circuit, which will allow you to, I don't know, maybe it's mechanical now that I think about it. This feels pretty mechanical. Anyways, let's get to business here. So I'm going to fade in the drone, and then we're hoping that it gives us a drone enough to tempo, and it's going to be really low. I don't know, maybe we should raise up the pitch. Oh, wow. We're going to get a couple loops of that. That'll do. Okay. It's only ever going to be as high as that. Like a bubble in the sea, going straight to the top. Okay, I'm looking for the splice. Recording. I'm going to do a nice fade in and fade out jobber there so that hopefully it's nice and smooth. Because put a lot of work into that technique so that we can get our tape loop splice to be pretty non-existent. I like to be nice and smooth. All right. You got Dolphin in the chat saying that was in the 70s. Are you guys talking about the compact cassette? It's a good thing to talk about on a Tape Tuesday. Let's hear our recording, though. We recorded that strange drone to tape. I guess I can stop the 303. I got my 303 working overtime. The temp, look at it. Tick, 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 tick. The tempo is going crazy. Actually, it wasn't even playing? Oh, I'm confused now. That's strange. It must have been playing. Well, you got to invite a little bit of confusion when you're dealing with control voltages. A little bit. Just a taste. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's flip it back into tape mode and safe mode. That is the purr of a very, very powerful engine, I think. Can you hear that? And now, of course, with the Tascam, we can drop it down, drop the pitch down. Now, the reason why I like to do a bit of a drone is so that I can get a gauge on kind of the BPM there, but I don't, this is... And would you look at that, or listen to that, there's no splice. And that was, I guess, one of the main things that helped us figure out what the BPM was going to be. That's a clean tape loop. Sounding very good. Okay, let's prepare something for track 2 here now. There's really no BPM that we can work with on that. How vintage that sounds. It's giving us one of those. There used to be a lot of kind of intros to movies back in the 80s that would use these strange synthesizer sounds like wow. And it might have to do something with the pitch bending there, the portamento or the slide. We are doing that slide on the 303. Let's make a new pattern here and see if we can get something that'll work well with our strange drone. We're going for some sci-fi sounds here, I think. What would be cool is to do a bit of a wow, wow, pod racer flying by. There we go. We got our newbies in the chat. Welcome to the chat. Let's see. Let's give you a nickname. We got Draconian Rhythms. They're saying, just stumbled across this. I've been making tape loops like a madman for the last 2 weeks. I think I'll stick around and lurk quietly. Hi from the UK. Hello from the US. Welcome. Let's, what do we call you? Call you Draco, I suppose. Nice to meet you too. Yeah, lurk around. We've been making tape loops like madmen every week for, well, it's been 14 weeks straight. This is Tape Tuesday, episode 14. And that's kind of cool because we got the Tascam for 414. Where does it say it? Right there. Right there. 414. Okay, so Draco, my friend, we're doing a bit of a like a pod racer Star Wars sci-fi sound. I'm working on a bunch of tapes for my Ease show. That's Ease. Electric Archaic Soundscape Expeditions. So many things to keep track of in my brain. But one of our chat family usuals, Hen, yesterday suggested we do some pod racer sounds. So I'm kind of going for that. I don't know if you're familiar with that Star Wars episode where they did the pod races, but there was the one that goes woof, 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 and I get a lot of freaky sounds like that on my 303, like these diesel sounding things. I think we should plug the 303 in without any din. Yeah, we dropped the bin. Anyways, yeah, so we're doing it. We're making some kind of sci-fi engine droning sounds. It goes really nice with the soundscape. Definitely give it a like and subscribe. Stick around, man. I'm working on Ease, episode 2. It's going to be an underwater soundscape. We got some dolphin tape loops. We got all sorts of tape loops. Okay, so let's try not to wear out that tape. People used to talk about the tape getting worn out, but we're not worrying about that because it usually sounds better the more crunchy it gets. We got Misty Forest in the chat. Welcome back, Misty. They're saying that would be good to incorporate in minimal techno mix. I agree. I imagine you're talking about some of the diesel 303 sounds. Let's get the 303 plugged in. Let's do that on our track 2 here. I got to move some things around. I suppose I should have thought of that before, but it's not too hard. We got a strange modular vibe going on. Not too deep though. I'll have to pull out my Eurorack modules at some point in time. Okay. Let's get the 303 plugged in. Those of you who've been here before, you might remember how I get some of those weird diesel sounds with the 303. Let's see if I can just get these wires figured out. That's a lot of wires. It's kind of funny how Tape Tuesday is such a chill vibe compared to the Monosynth Monday vibe. I was buzzing last night. That was a wild show. I don't even know why it was so wild. I was feeling really good. That always helps. All right, so I got the hefty, handy-dandy quarter wrench from the 303. Let's make a diesel. It always kind of sounds like a diesel-y engine. And I give away my trade secret. It's you just run the tempo very fast on Wild Style. Maybe I'll keep the O-Coast plugged in here on track 3. Let's just arm both of those mic line and arm them up both. I'll give it a little bit of pan. Okay, now we should be able to hear the 303 here. I think, though I'm not hearing it. That's strange. Oh, it's because I'm sending pitch data, but I'm on that. Yeah, we had that weird pattern where it was just all slides. So the 303 does need one hit in order to make it work. But I'm going to give it all hits here. Straight steps all the way across, and that should give us a good diesel sound when we get the tempo going. Still can't hear it though. What's going on, 303? Interesting. Oh, it's because it's again all slides. Yeah, it's all slides right there. So I gotta get back into pitch mode here, and let's remove at least one of those slides. That should do the trick. It's very low. It's pretty freaky indeed. I think I gotta get back in here and definitely a bit of a strange episode this week. All right, let's give a listen to that 303 pattern here really quick. All right, so I think I'm gonna change this up and just do a how that's going to line up though. That's 5 keys there. It's not going to line up exactly. It sounds like an engine. That's what we were going for. Some kind of an engine idling. I've been able to get him faster than that though. It's not exactly giving me the diesel sound that I do fancy so much with the 303. I wonder why that is. Probably because I need to make some sort of randomized acid house pattern here. Let's just do that. That's pitch mode. I did that twice today. I've never done that before, but get into time mode, add some randomness. Dang it, man. I replaced all the switches on that 303, and it does seem like this one is not a happy switch. That's not working for us? Okay. Maybe I'll make this just all steps. There we go. That's my diesel engine sound. Yeah, and get that kind of rumble going. We got Richard in the chat saying, it reminds me of the Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon or Welcome to the Machine. They had that really cool, what were they using? Was it an ARP? I don't think it was an ARP 2600. It might have been a different ARP synthesizer that they used to get that. And that was a long time ago. I guess that was in the late 70s. So they didn't have any MIDI, and they didn't have any DIN sync, so I think they just let it. They were doing wild style, Pink Floyd, and wild style to me just means that you're not plugged into any kind of a sync box of sorts. Look at that; it's definitely feeling wild there. That's I think I'll record that to tape here really quick. Trying to find a good patch. That's good. I like that. That'll give us a nice sci-fi engine sound. That should be enough on the tape. Let's hear what we got. That's nice. Engines. Sci-fi motors. Now, once again, I'm running this on Tascam speed, but I think what I'll do is I'll activate my modification here. Oh man, that sounds like some kind of a cyborg thing. One moment, let me activate my modification. Oh man, no thanks. Oh, there it is. It's not sticking. So this modification, it makes the Tascam run at a lower speed, like a Walkman speed. Oh man, this is not, usually I get a good connection there. It's getting a little bit loose. Maybe that'll do it. There we go. Where's Hen at? We got your pod racers, my friend Hen. We got Draco in the chat saying thrusters primed, ready to race. Yeah, so the cool thing is if you get a nice drone, well, like a, it's not, drone is a kind of an overused word in like the synth world, although it is kind of a drone, but yeah, I guess you could say that the motors, the engines would be droning, you know, idling. But if you get a nice idle, then you can use the pitch control on a Tascam to simulate it kind of revving up. Yeah, it's just revving it up. Let the race begin. So here we go. I'll pan these over. Yeah, we got. Let's speed it up again. It's not very... It's not like the Dolphin cassette tape loop that we have. That one relies heavily on the pitch control there. That does sound... I think we hit the mark. That is a pod racer ready to go. All right. So now we got 2 more empty tracks. What are we gonna do with those? Let's make some more. Let's make some more sounds. This one has already got the O coast going. Let's hear how that sounds here. That might be some kind of a starting alarm. That's for the one pod racer that is overheating before the race starts. What do you think? Should we put that to tape? Maybe we'll keep it pure. We'll make an alarm tape loop some other time. But that is a bit of a futuristic alarm. We got Dolphin in the chat saying, "Let the race begin." What are we racing? We're racing against time. I don't want to. Too many inside jokes. Anyways, I want to go for that gurgly engine. Let's make a really mean sounding racer here. If we can, I think... Ooh, I like that overtone. Let me show you what I'm doing here. I'm just messing around with the O coast. Just... Ooh, that sounds like it has kind of like a liquid... Some kind of like a liquid carburetor. It's carbonation. That'll be good. Okay, let's fire in. I'm gonna do the fade in here. Let's see if I can watch the tape loop again. Watch the splice. All right, so where's that splice at? There it is. Okay. Okay, so the trick is to fade it in and then fade it out, so you're not messing around with too much sound on sound. Okay, there's the splice. I'm going in. There's the splice coming around again. I'll fade it out nice and smooth. Hopefully that was a loud enough level. A lot of things to keep track of when you're doing what I do over here. Let's check it out. Let's hear what it sounds like. I feel like we lost some of those overtones though. Maybe not. The electrified rain in the background there. It's kind of loud. It's taking over. That's a good pod racer sound. That's the other one. And that one's got the hefty bass. It's going for it. So let's pan these all over the creation here, and here we are. We got the gentlemen, start your engines. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. That could also be just one sci-fi racer. It's got a couple of different things going on. That's gonna be nice. I like that. That last track we did is sounding very, very Star Wars indeed. So you guys are in the chat talking about something interesting. You piqued my interest. Talking about switching off an oscillator for the erase head. We got Richard saying, I always thought it would be cool if you could modify it to play both sides of the tape at the same time. And I don't know what you're talking about here. I'll tell you one mod I'd like to make. This is Draco saying, a switch to disable the erase head for easy sound on sound recording. That has to be easy to do. Maybe you're new here, Draco. I don't know if you've ever seen any of our previous episodes, but I do make the mistake sometimes of not putting the tape over the erase head after we've removed it to delete a track, and it's kind of a pain. I like to hit it just first take, because it seems like when you record a take on a tape loop, there's a little bit of sound that gets stuck in the splice. So when you go to delete it with the erase head, it doesn't actually delete some of those particles in there. But I made a beautiful splice today. I can't hear the splice at all. That's just a clean, healthy, happy loop. Maybe that's a modification. How can you do that? You just take the wires. How many wires go into an erase head? I feel like it would just be 2. Maybe I'm wrong. But you could probably just wire that right up to a switch. You got me thinking. Anyways. To get back to what you guys were saying about making a modification to where a tape machine would play all 4 tracks at the same time, you need 4 tape heads to do that, unless you took one normal stereo tape head and you put that there on the 1 tracks, and you took another stereo tape head and rotated it 80 degrees, and you could have them. You could have the one go, I don't know if it would fit. Do you think that would fit in there? And you wouldn't have the felts either. With my 3-head tape machine, where is that thing? I almost tripped on it earlier. With this thing, this is really cool. I gotta make more use of this for Tape Tuesday. So it's a 3-head tape. What do they call it here? Under the leather. A 3-head cassette quarter TCM 5000 EV. That's from Sony. So on this machine, they got the 3rd head, which allows you to listen to what you just recorded, and that also allows you to turn it into a tape delay. The head is very, very tiny. It's kind of like a custom, I don't know, like a Sony. Where's the play button here? I want to see if I can. Is that playing? Yeah, that's playing. I won't really be able to show you that, but I'm sure you could Google that and check it out. But so what it does is it's 3 heads. So the first head is the erase head. The second head is just the normal play record head. And then the third one is this extra one that goes right here in this strange, one of these smaller slots. So you got I guess the way it would run is you got your erase head here, and then they play record, and then you can listen to it in that tiny slot right there. I think that's where it is, in the tiny slot. Because it's a small little tape head. What a cool machine. I wish they made more of those. It was kind of... There's some hi-fi machines that have that, where you can immediately listen to what you've recorded so that you can kind of bias the tape correctly. Anyways. We got one more free track on this tape. Trying to decide if we should just kind of keep it with idling machines, idling pod racers. It sounds almost like a freaky witch's brew, too. Burbling and bubbling. That might actually be good for my underwater theme. Use the 303 for kind of a bubbly sound. It is very bubbly. And I'd say I'd cut off the high end, but it's not really cutting it off like well, I got this connected to a DJ mixer right here. Let me see. Let's activate the filter here and sound like bubbles. It's kind of bubbly. Maybe I should use the DJ mixer more often. That's kind of fun. I do DJ. I have 2 Tascams, and I do DJ them for my Ease show. I'm going to get that scheduled this week here. I don't know what day. Maybe Thursday. Maybe I'll get that show on the air Thursday. It's going to be really cool. Stick around for that. Definitely give me a like and subscribe if you're having fun here today. Okay, we got to make up one more racer. We're doing some sci-fi pod racer sounds if you're just joining us. How you doing, Hen? It's good to see you back. So Hen requested yesterday that we make some pod racer sounds, and you know the one we're thinking of, that was it Sebulba in Star Wars? Was that episode 1? I think that was episode 1 with the tiny baby Anakin boy and the C-3PO that looked like my modular synthesizer, but way cooler. my modular synthesizer has it has fenders on it, whereas that old C-3PO didn't have nothing. So, anyways, I think it was Sebulba's pod racer. One of them had the sound when it went by. You got to do the shoulder thing, the shoulder jig. So that's what we've been shooting for here. You'll have to let us know what you think, and if we nailed it or not. We got the 303 out. 303 in the O Coast doing some strange things. Trying to get that sound for you, Hen. You know the one. I'm not afraid to pull out a microphone as well and just do one. Mate. So that was the first one we did. Racer number 1. We got racer number 2 here. That's a 303. And this one I think was the O Coast again. I like that one. It's got a bit of an overtone going. And we got racer number 4 who has not showed up to the race yet. Oh, I think I see him in the distance. Having some engine trouble, I suppose. Okay, so let's get this track ready. We should be able to cue it up, and now that's the 303, I think. Oh gosh. I didn't think of this, but I should have. How long was it going to take before someone mentioned that most amazing sound? And it's one of those early Star Wars. It's not episode 1 because Anakin was older. Draco in the chat is saying they were chasing Boba Fett in the asteroid field, and it's the delayed depth charge sound. So sick, and I agree with you. For those of you who don't know, there's a lot of people on Instagram who kind of make a meme of that, and they say like when the DJ drops the bass or whatever, and it goes dong. But the whole thing is there's this. Oh man, you really got my brains going there. Draco Man in the chat. I hope you're a man, actually. I try not to assume, but anyways. Oh no! Yeah, on my first couple of my first live streams, I was just like assuming genders and whatnot, but oh boy, it was. Oh no. Okay. Anyways, hopefully my assumption's correct. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, it was the original trilogy, and so they're chasing Boba Fett, and well, it was Jango Fett and Boba Fett, but Boba Fett was a boy clone of Jango Fett. It was the one clone that anyways, so it was Obi-Wan chasing. I don't know if Anakin was with Obi-Wan, but Obi-Wan was chasing Jango Fett and Boba Fett in the what's that ship called? The Slave One. Okay, I assumed correctly. That's good. You heard it here first. I don't want to give people bad nicknames, and I don't want to misidentify, but we're talking about Star Wars here. Come on, anyways. Yeah, I get so distracted. You guys got me excited talking about the depth charge or whatever it is. Was it a depth charge? No, that's a submarine thing. We'll save that for the cyberpunk submarines of love. What did they call that? Oh, delayed depth charge. Is that, maybe it is a depth charge, but for space. So Obi-Wan's chasing Jango Fett and Boba Fett in the Slave One. That's the name of that awesome ship that like lands sideways. Anyways, so they launch these charges. They're like spatial charges. Spatial depth charge? That makes sense. Anyways, this thing goes out and you see it boom. You see it explode, and since there's no sound in space, they kind of leaned into that. But you see it just crack an asteroid in half, just boom, and it goes out like the rings of Saturn. Wow. And it's got this really kind of phasey, like almost like an FM synthesis sound. I don't know how to even describe it, but it's one of the coolest sounds I think ever, and so many people would agree with me on that. I don't know where this came from. That's kind of strange. It says blank. Where did this tape come from? I know I got a lot of tapes hanging around, but freaky moment there. I feel like I should pop it in and see. I didn't plan this either. What? Where did this come from? How did I? Wow, we're getting weird. Yeah, stuff's getting weird these days. If you guys haven't noticed, yeah, we've been waiting for the weirdness here. Now that's just the 303. That is a blank tape, I think. Anyways, that's strange. We have been doing the metallic rain cave thing here today, so it's gotta check my back here. Where's oh, I see you, freaky. That is one freaky teddy there. Sure is cute though. I don't think Teddy has any mail for us today. Yeah, the freaky brings in my mail. I get distracted again. Okay, let's get back to our 303 engine. We probably need to change the pitches up on this to make it sound a little bit different than the last one. I get the tape, get our pod racer tape back in there. I like that one a lot. Yeah, I gotta try to say this. So Draco in the chat is talking about the spatial depth charges that we were just talking about, and he says the sound goes. And I love this because my best friend from Las Vegas, when I was growing up, he has this joke. I'm gonna have to tell his joke. Where are you, man? Garrett McLean. He had this joke in high school where he said, "Yeah, I'm gonna write a book someday, and you know what it's gonna be called?" And that, you know, like that's, and I think that was also the book. When you open it up, it was just. Anyways, getting freaky. So we got Draco in the chat saying, the sound goes something like quang, and that's kind of how the sound goes. So I had to I had to try that out here. We got Dip in the chat. Welcome back, Dip. There's so many tape loops I got to make. Eventually, I'll have a giant library, and maybe that'll be my backdrop. It'll just be 1,000 tapes, and I don't know what episode of Tape Tuesday that's going to be, but it'll happen. I'm going to be here doing tape everything all year. Okay, let's get back to business. We got the 303 running, working hard in the background, and I wanted to change up the pitches here. I'm trying to refine my 303 diesel sound. I like to use a 303 in a very strange way. So yeah, you got to have the tempo all the way up, which we do. And let's see about these pitches. I think it goes, the engine wants to go, but maybe we'll start it with going high up. Let's hear how that sounds as a super fast. That's kind of working. And what are we in? Sawtooth? No, that's definitely square tooth there. I still want to know where this tape came from. I mean, I know it's one of my tapes. It has my handwriting right on it, but... You freaky little tape. I try to take these things as a sign. Well, what are you trying to tell me? It's a blank tape? Maybe it wants me to just record a pod race onto it, which would be... I don't know. Whatever. It's weird. Strange. So... I want to flip this over into Sawtooth. Is it plastic? Maybe we should add some random accents in memory to that. That's a slide. We'll do every other. How's that sound? You might have to adjust those pitches as well. Let's see how that sounds though. Yeah, that's the engine we were waiting for. Now, how can I tweak the filters on that to make it sound really good? We're getting there. Gotta give your ears a break from that. It's kind of a lot. Let's hear some of our other ones really quick. That'll go nicely, I think, on the lineup. Maybe we should just fire right in and record that. I like that one. That sounds like some kind of underwater pod racer. Okay, so we got to finish this one up. I'm kind of thinking that I ought to go in there and drop these pitches down an octave. Got a lot of reverb on the track too. Oh. Let's see how that sounds. Is that too low? Well, we can tune it up if we need to. We got the forbidden tuning knob here. Oh man, can you hear those accents? Can you feel them? Turn on the resonance on the 303 and those accents are just like... Boom, 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 boom. Those are like spatial charges. I like that gurgly sound. Some of those American muscle cars, they got that, you know. I don't know if I should just floor it. Pedal to the metal. It's too glassy. That's kind of nice, but I like the gurgle. You gotta... I think that's the one. It's idling. I'll do my fade-in thing that I have been doing. I gotta look for that splice, though. It's dark in here. Hey. Okay, looking for the splice. Gonna record that track. I think we got a very healthy level because this is all the way up. Oh my gosh. Okay, there's the splice. I'll hit it on this one. Bam, got the splice. Fade it in. Fade it out. I did a little filter. I tweaked the filter a little bit during that. That's what makes it so nice. I swear, Bill Alexander lives completely rent-free in my brain. I watch Bill Alexander a lot. He's an old school painter. He's the one who taught Bob Ross the technique. Now I have to boost the bass on that a little bit because it has so much filter, so much resonance. Okay. What do we think of that? That's the late one, the late pod racer. Had to check out another. He had to. That one had to run another race, so showed up late. Now let's see. Let's hard pan some of these. I got this one straight up in the middle. It does sound like it could be one racer, but I like the idea of it being multiple ones. Now that makes me wish I had more. You make me wish I had 3 hands, man. Now it makes me wish I had more range on the pitch control. Let's flip it into Tascam mode here. Disconnect these modifications. Let's hear that new track on its own. Now that is some strange 303 weirdness, I think. Now it makes me wonder if you could get more of an engine, like a driving by effect if the pitches weren't all over the place. This is kind of an idling sound. Now that sounds like Flubber. You remember the little, what was the robot's name? The flying robot in Flubber? Weebo? Weebo, no! Or was it the flying car? I think that was a Cadillac Eldorado that he made fly. It sounds like Weebo. She comes to him in his dreams and projects a very nice projection indeed. That is the Flubber tape. Oh man, it was supposed to be Star Wars. I like it. I like it a lot. So, what should we do now? How long have we been on? Oh, we've been on for 111 minutes. That's a great number. I think, if that's accurate. These things sometimes they time out and you don't even know. Anyways, give me a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate that. Trying to project a little bit more fun and freakiness into the world. We need some fun. We gotta have more fun. Because you know what? Well, my friend Steve Judd likes to say, negativity cannot exist where humor is present. Maybe that's why I'm such a joker. Jokes. Okay. Let's switch it up a little bit. I'm going to play you. So I think I played you this. This is the tape loop from last week, and it sounded really good. Let's just hear that really quick. I was going to play the other tape loop from last week, but... Oh, no, that is the other tape loop from last week. Now, this also sounds maybe like it could be a strange pod racer gurgling. Maybe that's where Hen got the idea from. Although I don't know if we had it in Tascam mode last week. We got more flubber, too, I think. We'll have to race this pod racer against this pod racers. Plural. Yeah, and I got quite a lot of reverb going in the background. That sounds cool. I like that. Definitely want to get subscribed for Ease episode 2. Ooh, I'm getting so excited for that. But I do have a stack of tape loops that I got to fill up. So maybe we'll grab one of those and we'll make one here before I let you go for the evening. That is strange. We're leaning into the strangeness, I think. All right, so I'll spare you the... Oh, that's cool. This one's called The World Turner. I don't know if you can read that. I think it actually says The World Turned. And I like that. I kind of kept a little bit of that on there because, you know, you gotta flip the tapes. Oh, that's something we should do. Let's hear our pod racers in reverse. We'll record some sounds on this in just a moment. Let's hear every tape on reverse. That's one of the nice tricks. Sometimes you can't do it, though. If the tape loop is too something or other, it'll get stuck. That's definitely idling racers of some sort. They're not revving very good, though. I've noticed that. Seems like the Dolphin gets a lot more play. That's cool. Okay, that was Tape Tuesday, episode 13, right there. Let's play our pod racers in reverse from today. Sounds like an unhappy cat. And now that's another Star Wars sample. The Imperial droid on Hoth. Star Wars Day. We missed Star Wars Day. I should have done something for that. We got Draco in the chat saying, EA, I love your vibe, my dude. Hey, I love your vibe too, my dude. You said you were gonna lurk around, but you've been creating a bustling chat in there. Yeah, that's I said that early on in my live stream. And Kiara, she shall never let me live that one down, and so I just have to lean into it. And I looked over one day and, oh gosh, it looks like the chat room is bustling. Oh man, she never let me hear the end of that one. So yeah, welcome to the bustling chat, my friend. It's good to have you here, man. Man, gosh, I oh man, did you see that never mind. I don't want to get that distracted, but I guess maybe I can just get away with it by just saying, hey, I call everyone either dude or man because I'm an 80s baby. Hey, dude. I remember, what is it, like 10 years ago or something, I just started calling everyone dude, and there were a couple of chicks that were cool with it because they were calling everyone dude as well. And then there were another couple of chicks that say, don't call me dude. I'm not a dude. Oh, man. What a weird world of language we live in. Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry, Draco, my man. My man. There I go again. Anyways, it's okay. For some reason, I don't know. Maybe is it your profile picture? I can actually see. Anyways, gosh. Getting distracted. Lots of bustle and Star Wars chat happening. Let's get in a new tape. Whew. For those of you who are new, you'll know. Or wait, what I'm gonna say is that it's the summertime and I live in the desert, so it does get a bit hot here in the studio, and that's when I start to lose it. So my brains start to get a little bit melty. And I start saying strange things. So I apologize for anything that I say that's a little bit too strange. But, you know, if you've been with us for this long, I think you're here for it. So learning from my mistake earlier, I'm just going to go ahead and tape up this. Tape up your tape. It is Tape Tuesday after all. And I'm just ripping it. Let it rip. Going to cover up that right protection tab. This tape. I like this washi tape because it fits perfectly. It's the perfect width of a cassette. Check that out. Unlike Legos, actually, it's not exactly exact, but it's exact enough. And sometimes it's fun to just run the washi tape all the way around the cassette tape. And the reason why I say that, because I know that this is going to start peeling off because there's just not enough. There's not enough of it there. All right. Let's pop this tape in. I don't know, guys. Should we make another set of racers here? Let's see. What are we running? What speed are we running? We're on full speed. Maybe we should do another series of racers, but have them sound a little bit more high-pitched. Now, how would we do that? So we would drop it down into Walkman mode, and then when we put it into Tascam mode, it will be running a lot faster. Let's do that, because if I'm remembering correct, maybe one of you remembers. I think that last tape we did, we recorded everything in Tascam mode 2 times fast. So we're in Walkman mode now. We'll make a little bit of we'll switch it up here. Okay. Let's get our well, we got a couple of tracks plugged in here. Maybe we'll record 2 of them at the same time. That's something we don't ever do here. I'll do a hard pan. Well, maybe not so hard. An almost hard pan. Now that also is a Star Wars sound. It sounds like the Death Star is going to blow up. It's the O-Coast doing that. I like that a lot, actually. Got a healthy level. I'm just gonna fire in and record that. We're running it as fast as we can. So we're in Tascam mode. Wait, no, we're in Walkman mode. Yeah, so if I slow it down, that'll be as slow as it gets. It'll be a real screamer. Ooh, might be clipping a little bit, but I'm gonna just saturate the tape. Ooh, I like that. Let's go for it. I'm gonna do the fade in though. I feel like that's a good thing for the sound on sound. I gotta flip my glasses up and flip the Tascam lid up. I can't see anything. It's so silly. I'm wearing sunglasses in the dark. And then when the sun is shining, I let it go straight in. I don't wear sunglasses outside. Okay, got the splice. There's the splice. I'm going to start it and fade these in. There's that splice again. Fade them out. We have made quite a lot of progress here on my show. We went from just a real janky style tape loop situation. I was barely measuring the tape loops, and it's funny though, the first few episodes of Tape Tuesday, all the tape loops just worked right out the gate, and then we hit a rough patch there, and Mercury wasn't in Gatorade or anything like that, but it was like 3 or 4 episodes in a row I could not make the tape loop work for the life of me. So I had to develop that new technique, which you can see in detail on episode 13 of Tape Tuesday. Yeah, let's hear what that sounds like. I'm hoping it sounds very sci-fi. I like that. Rumbly. It's got, well, I do have the bass all the way up. That's some crunch, some serious interference. It's like electromagnetic Death Star interference there. Because we're keeping Alderaan this time. I like this one. It's cool. It's not every day we just fire right into 2 tracks at once. So okay, let's mess around here a little bit more. The pitch control. Let's see how high it can get. That sounds like a jet ski. It's a windy, wavy day today on the jet ski. Do you know the feeling? I'm feeling that. Hitting waves on the jet ski, like you're about to. It's not like you're running out of gas, but the sun's setting or something, and you got to get back. You got to get back to the shore. And that's just straight 303 garbly mess. My poor 303. It's just sitting there running at full blast. I wonder if that... I guess it doesn't care. It is a machine after all. It's not like it's overheating or anything. But my... Maybe it's time for me to move my stack minis. I have a stack of Mac minis here running all the analog video. And they're just pumping heat out right into me. Right into me. Oh gosh, it's so hot. Summertime. Okay, we got 2 more tracks. Kind of lose those overtones when you speed it up. That's gonna go well with the underwater soundscape. I really do think so. Got to try to do something a little bit better here. I think we'll let we'll let the 303 slide. I'm not gonna use any sound source from the 303 anymore. If you need an injection of TP303, check out yesterday's episode of Monosynth Monday. Oh boy, that was wild. It was very wild. Okay. I'll set this for record here. Give it a nice healthy level. We got Gonzin in the chat saying freaky tape loops rule and 303. Well, you got both of them today, and I like that. I like that mix. I do have a cassette tape with a nice 303 jam on it, and I've been meaning to pull that out. I played it for you guys a long time ago on Tape Tuesday. Anyways, let's get back to business. I'm gonna switch the pattern here and see just what's on this. That's more Pink Floyd for you. Not sure why this synth sounds so Pink Floyd-ish. I don't think they used a buchla, but this is an O-coast, and they call it an O-coast because it's not West Coast or East Coast synthesis. Now, your West Coast synthesis would be a buchla, which is that. What I do know is that the East Coast synthesis is more of a Moog, and that's subtractive synthesis. Whereas West Coast, I don't think they call it additive synthesis. Maybe they do, though. Can't remember everything all the time, you guys. So what can I do to make this kind of work well with everything else? Let's see here. Maybe that's what I'll do, is just go full freaky with it. Just doing so much sound on sound there. Yeah, I didn't let you know. I just recorded it right off the go. Let's hear what we got. Well, that's one way to play with cassette tapes. I don't like it. Rubbish. You know what we got to do? This is where it would be nice to have that switch, that electromagnet activating switch there. I got to remove the tape here, and I got to make a new one of these. Maybe I should do that because this is just way too short. It should be sticking out a little bit. All right, so there's that. Let's fire back in to record and slam those down to the floor. Tape track 2. And I think we just give it a couple orbits there. Delete it. There's the splice. I'll just wait for it one more time. There's a splice again. So that should be a nice empty track there. You want to hear it? I swear there's going to be a little bit of a oink in the splice, living in those atoms there. Here it is. That's quite the splice. Okay, so here, we're going to have a little bit of a Bob Ross moment here. You know, I usually talk about Bill Alexander, who taught Bob Ross. And Bob Ross kind of, we'll just say, followed in the footsteps of Bill Alexander very closely. Anyways, we got ourselves a happy accident. Do you hear that? That is a drip of water by mistake. I tried to delete that whole track. And wow, happy accident. We got Richard in the chat saying those blips sound like a theremin, very 60s sci-fi. Theremin would be, I can kind of get a bit of a theremin sound with the pitch control, but you're limited, right? Whereas the theremin will just go, it goes from everything to nothing real fast. But you guys, I'm kind of obsessed with that track there, by that happy accident track. I'm gonna leave it. That's great. It's good for the underwater soundscape. That's coming up. Is episode 2. It's going to be underwater. If you guys got any ideas for that, let it be known. We can try to conjure up some sound design for it. It's so funny. Here I am making bubble sounds, and the other day I was I was in the basement blowing bubbles into a jar of water to just record actual bubble sounds, and I got a tape loop. I got a bubble tape loop. You'll hear that on Ease episode 2. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Oh, I love that. Let's set it for track 1 here. We got one more track to do. Okay. Although I like that, I don't think we're going to do that. We're gonna do something a bit more. I don't know. Let's find out some pitches that we want to do. Maybe I'll just do a standard alarm. I don't have any alarms for inside the submarine, but if your submarine is dripping like that, you might have an alarm going off, right? So let's make that alarm here. I think, I assume this is a 16 step, but let's test this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I make a lot of strange polymeters with a 303, so you never do know. So what I'll do is I'll give it... Are those good pitches? I feel like those were good pitches for a submarine alarm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why did they change? I guess I didn't remember which ones I did. Line that up with the tape loop, so there might be a little bit of a try not to be too annoying there. That might be just a bit too annoying. What do you guys think? I gotta check up on my chat family. What are you guys talking about here? What are you saying? We got Richard in the chat saying, "Never made a tape loop. I'm not competent when it comes to that. When it comes to such tasks, you can always give it a shot. But if not, just join me on Tape Tuesday. I'll make tape loops for you every week." We got Draco in the chat asking, "What happens if you half the speed here?" I think I'm going as slow as I can go already. We are in Walkman mode, yes, and I got the pitch control all the way down. I need to. So that's just one really easy modification, and I'm gonna do a video on that. I figured out how to do it from another video that's not mine on YouTube. But he wasn't doing it on a Tascam 414, so I feel like I don't remember actually. I tried to find the video so I could link it. And anyway, so I kind of intuited the same thing from the smaller Tascam that this one guy did the modification on. And I intuited it to my Tascam 414 and it worked, but I have a little box of 555 timers. 555, stay together. Another inside joke. Anyways, with the 555 timer, it's basically an oscillator, and I feel like maybe they use them on synthesizers, but it's been a while since I was doing that kind of research. I do plan to make my own synthesizers, maybe some Euro rack modules and drum machines at some point in the future. But until then, I got a lot of stuff to work with here. Anyways, so I want to implement a 555 timer into my Tascam, And then I wouldn't need to have the, I guess, I don't know how fast they oscillate. Maybe they, I imagine they go really fast all the way down to nothing, but that would, I could effectively wire up the pitch control knob here to a 555 timer and just get an obscene range of motor speed. What it's doing is it's controlling the speed of the motor. So, but there might be some issues with putting that much resistance on the motor. Some people were worried about this modification in the comments of the video when I did it, but a lot of people just said, it's negligible. It's not really going to hurt the motor because it's still running, but I don't know. I'll have to get into that. There's so many things. You know, when we get to tape week, I've promised everyone, when I get 500 subscribers, it's tape week immediately. As soon as I get the notification from YouTube, boom, I'm going live. And we'll do basically Tape Tuesday every day. And I imagine after about 2 days, 3 days, 4 days in a row, I'm going to have to start pulling out the broken machines and replacing belts. And that'll be a really good time to try to implement some of these weird modifications where you're adding potentiometer knobs and allowing these things to slow to a crawl and a stop. And that'll be really cool because then I can show you what these things sound like if I just keep having the speed. But at the moment, yeah, that's as slow as it goes. So if you want to hear something halftime, we gotta flip back into Tascam mode and speed up the pitch control, and then we can really drop it down. So why don't we do that for our last track? I'll do that for Ya, Draco. Okay. So that's now going to be running as fast as it can. And that just kind of sounds like some sort of... It doesn't sound like a water droplet anymore. It sounds like some kind of a squirrel in the works. Squirks. You got Draco in the chat saying, I'd love to see a video on a 555 mod. I'm going to do it. I got the timers, and they come with potentiometers. It's just, yeah, I like to let it slide and do things on the fly here, and that is the sort of thing that does require some actual homework. And I've been known to not do my homework. Like earlier this episode when I say, here, look, here's the O-Coast that I haven't touched for two years or so. And we've fumbled around, but... yeah, we got squirrels in the works. I like that. Might have to make that one an EA phrase. All right, so we'll do this one for Ya, Draco. We got the machine going. It'll be spinning as fast as it can, and we'll half time it for you. But what are we going to play in there? We have our alarm. Do we like the alarm? I don't know if I asked you guys that. We got Gonzin in the chat saying, see if can find the schematics for the 4041. Are you talking about the 414? What's a 4041? Nice. All right. Trying to see if anyone wants the submarine alarm or not. Here it is. It would be one of those tracks that I wouldn't want to leave on for too long. It would make a nice Doppler effect, but I can't stand it when things get overdone. I like to keep it real. Tape reel. I kind of have a feeling that we should come up with something a little bit better than the alarm. Although, I do like the alarms. I always talk about making like a utopian sci-fi future soundscape, but it's so utopian that people just respond immediately. No, whatever. All right, it is getting hot in here. So that's the pattern that we had. Let's see if I can. Maybe we can make. Just thinking, doing the think here. Yeah, here I am grabbing the 303 filter knob. There's no filter. That's nice. Maybe a little bit of Morse code. I think I have to fix that though. Oh, I'll never remember what those were. Let's try it on a different pattern. Okay, there we go. Let's go back to this one. Pitch mode. Since that's got 3 steps and I want it to repeat infinitely, I think we have to change the length of that. So 1, 2, 3. That's all we need. And oh, I gotta add in the time mode again. What a weird machine. There it is. So we're gonna half speed it, right? For Draco. Just grab a knob, any knob. That's nice. Kind of deaden it a little bit. Maybe I should mess. Well, I don't know. Let's see. I get a lot of things I'm tempted to do here, but and what I was tempted to do was mess with the pitch control knob while we're recording it. Maybe I'll show that to you, Draco. We did that a couple weeks ago, and it wasn't very good. Maybe we won't do that then. Actually, we'll learn from our mistakes and not repeat it. But it's something that you can do. Okay, let's fire in here. I think maybe I'll just do the classic fade in and look for the splice. There we go. That's a lot of sound on sound. Oh, and I made a fatal mistake again. Look, there's our electromagnet cover tape. Dang it. Oh, well. Let's hear how it sounds anyway. Maybe we'll have to delete that since the tape's already off, the electromagnet, and it'll give us another bloop water drop sound. You never know. That was a long splice, too, on that last track. Yeah, see how it just caught the tail end. Ooh, that's actually great! And it doesn't, it's not exactly an alarm, unless it's a wake-up alarm. But it sounds kind of like a utopian cell phone. Future utopian cell phone. Perfect. Okay, again, another happy accident. With jet skis. We got jet ski! Wayne jet ski. That's the one, I guess. Hit it out of the park. That's got a lot of crunch. Okay, so we got to slow that down for Draco there. Let's slow it down a lot. Let's put it into Walkman mode. There you go. That's for you. It sounds like something was left on red for way too long. Interesting tape loop. That's what we're going for. Something new, something fresh. got Draco in the chat saying, paging Dr. Tape. Emergency, emergency. Paging Dr. Tape. We got Richard in the chat saying, remember pagers? Everyone had them for a hot minute at the end of the 90s. I never had one. I was a bit young, I guess, but they're cute, man. I think that some people were, does anyone make a pager anymore? How would you even do it? I guess it would have to Bluetooth to your phone. How boring. I suppose the smartwatch is now the new equivalent of a pager, even though it's basically a full-on TV on your hand. It's like one of those Anunnaki entertainment centers, systems, whatever's. We got Draco in the chat saying, I love this sound. I'm glad. That makes me feel good. I do it for ya. It's for ya. Well, what are we thinking, guys? What are we thinking, everyone? Should we call it an evening, call it a day, wherever you are? Probably should play you a song. Maybe I'll fish out one of those weird old cassettes, one of those 303 jams, and I'll play you that. Where are they though? That's the real question. Let's just enjoy the sounds of the Imperial droid here. The jet ski droid. Cool. All right, I'm back. Got some. Remember these back in the 90s? These little cassette case carriers? Cassette carriers? Case Logic. Just in case. So I have a nice random assortment of a bunch of original cassettes here, and that's what I'm talking about with the washi tape. Remember I was telling you guys about how it fits right on the edge there? That's a nice specimen. What is this? This one's called Hefty Beat. Let's play that one. Now this will be in Walkman mode, which should be kind of cool because I'm pretty sure I recorded this at Tascam speed. So this will be the real halftime show for ya. Let's rewind it. It's funny to think about rewinding tape on this show. It's a lot about loops. We got loops for lifetimes. We got Dolphin in the chat saying, thanks for a great show. Yes, fish out an old song. So long, and thank you for all the fish out an old song. But it's not going to be one of... Dolphin always likes me to play old Key Era tunes. And I suppose I could fish out one of those, but the one we're talking about here is... This is an original cassette tape jam by yours truly, your man, Electric Archaic. Let's hear it. Maybe I'll save you some of the tracks here really quick. We'll bring them in a second. Let's do a little Tascam jam here, if we can. If it's gonna. There we go. guess it's just a hefty beat. Ooh, it is hefty. You hear that crunch? We got Richard in the chat saying, yes, let's finish with a song. Okay, I'll play something you guys have never heard before. Let's see, I'll find a JJ Huggins Kiara tune, or should I play you... I could do something really strange. I could just, let's see. I'm just jamming here on the Tascam while I'm thinking about it. Let me find you something. Let's find you something really old. Maybe an old Electric Archaic tune. Getting distracted again. I like that beat. Found something. This is very old indeed. This is from my really old album called Realm 1. We'll play this one for you, Draconian Rhythms, also known in my chat room as Draco. Not sure how much you know about the Draco, but this song is called Anunnaki DMB. It's not mastered, so enjoy that. It should be loud enough for you to hear, though. This is a very old one. I think this is a collaboration with my friend Garrett McLean. Yeah, very old indeed. Anunnaki DMB by Electric Archaic. Circa, I don't know, 2004. And I swear to you, I'm not a dinosaur. We don't know about you, Draco, though. I sure love you all, and I love this planet. And I know that you love this planet too. Thanks again, Hen. You are welcome for the stream. Thank you, Dolphin. Thank you, Kiara. Thank you, Draco. Thank you, Gonzin. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Kenneth. We had Misty Forest for a minute. Thank you, Misty. Thank you, Dip. Who am I missing? Yeah, I gotta love the drum and bass. Just remember, make sure to give me a like and subscribe if you've had a good time here today. And for those of you already liking and subscribing, thank you. I appreciate you. Oh, yeah. We got Richard in the chat saying, I'm off to look up that depth charge sound now. I think all you need to do is go on to YouTube after you're done here. And just, what was it, the Boba Fett? The Boba Fett Star Wars space bomb? I don't know. It's not a love bomb, but we like that sometimes too. 120 subscribers to go, and then it's tape week. Come on. Tell your family, tell your friends. We need a little bit more freakiness in this world. 500 subscribers. And then it's tape week. I'm scanning for you guys. I'm scanning for the subscribers. We'll find you. There's a... Richard, if you're still with us, there's a channel on YouTube called Aural Knots, and they do a bunch of cool, funny, hilarious, even Star Wars parodies and edits. And I think they have a version of the spatial depth charge. They have this weird universe. It's their own parody universe using Star Trek footage, where everything is related to the mycelium, the metachlorians, and it's like making fun of DJ culture, but they have this thing where they drop the bass or whatever, and it's it's one of those depth charges, but then it's got music and it's like something crazy like dubstep. Find those cats, they're great. Aural Knots. It might be a little bit of a parental advisory there too, but it's good stuff. It's good and fun. Well, there goes the electrified rain. I hope you find what you're looking for. Just remember, you're the one. And we're the ones. We are the ones. And together we can make a better today. And you know what a bunch of better todays makes? Fantastic tomorrows. I hope you find what you're looking for. And if you're new here, I'm glad you found me. Stick on around. It's gonna get even more freaky. I got a lot of cool shows coming up. Anyways. Gonna do it for today. I'll bring you down nice and easy, and you might want to check out my Ease show. I got the link for episode 1 in the description, of course. That's a real cyberpunk futuristic robotized futuristic soundscape. Futuristic. Thanks once again, everybody. I appreciate you all. We'll see you here next week for Tape Tuesday and Monosynth Monday, a day before that. Robotized. You can also follow me on all the usuals: SoundCloud, Instagram. Come on, baby. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen, like Roland used to say back in the day.